Welcome to your daily focus for November the 1st, 2022. So, like the Leo King always says, rabbit, rabbit. So, I guess that brings really good luck in for the month, and why not? So, he suggested it, and it doesn't cost anything to try it. So, if you want some luck in your life, just say rabbit, rabbit. I'm Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly. Thank you. Thank you truly for all the positive, loving, supportive energy you send my way each and every day. Send it right back to you. We start with the numerology and we have a number 1. So, do we feel like being the pioneer, the trailblazer, standing in our independence? I am are the most powerful words you can use. I am. If we do the numerology of the day, we have an 18 energy. I wouldn't split the 11 for November being the 11th month into a 2, although some do, and they would end up with what I would end up with as well, I'm sure, right? So, but I like finding out the true energy and how we get to that single digit. So if we go 11 plus 1 plus 6, it is an 18 energy. 1 plus 8 is a 9. So realistically, today is a 9 kind of energy day. But we get there through the 18. The 18 is about understanding what freedom means to us, what happiness means to us. To bring in a true balance, knowing ourselves and our emotions and what guides us, what motivates us, what makes us laugh, sing, and cry. 1 plus 8 is a 9, so it is about endings, absolutely. But it's in order so we can bring new things in. We're making space for the new things that we want to bring into our life. Whether it's a goal, a dream, a desire, it could be in the form of a person, a thing, an event. So in every situation, I mean, we just don't get more and more and more. I mean, I doubt if you have your first soother and your first pair of shoes and your blankie and your crib that you slept in and the little nappies that you had, and right? We get rid of the stuff because we were growing and we needed new clothes. So we got rid of the old so that the new could come in. And then the toys came in, the toys left. And slowly our life evolves by allowing this swinging door in our lives to take away what is no longer needed, no longer has value in our life, to bring in the things that will bring value into our life, will bring happiness, success into our life. Sun is in Scorpio, Moon is in Aquarius, so we seek intellectual stimulation. Absolutely. We want to get our minds going. And it's usually with unique and, out of the box kind of thinking, unconventional things that really spark our imagination, draw us like a moth to a flame. It could be friends, communities, groups. We could want to be of service, work towards a cause for the community or the world at large. Those kinds of things will definitely have a stronger focus as we walk through today. We have the first quarter moon. I usually don't talk about the first quarter moon and the third quarter moon. But this is a time when some challenges come in or trials come in, or we have a couple of errors that we've noticed that we've misstepped on anything that we started during the new moon energy. So it's there for us to learn. It's supposed to make us a little uncomfortable because it will motivate us to find the right way forward, to face that obstacle. Also, I think the moon is talking to Saturn. I think actually the moon is conjunct. It would have to be conjunct with Saturn, if I'm not mistaken. And so we feel the responsibility today. It's an overwhelming responsibility, or we're taking things very seriously. So know that. Okay, let's see what the cards have to say. Shall we? Oh, somebody asked me what I manifested. I manifested, and I'm not doing this for bragging. I really am not. I want you to know that when I talk about manifestation and everything, I have been trying for, well, probably since birth, if you really want to get technical. But when I found out that there is a way to manifest things in your life, bring things towards you and whatnot, so what, 30 years ago when it wasn't talked about, everybody thought you were a little, they looked at you like you had three heads if you even said, I was going to manifest something. But it is possible. And I spent at least 30 years mucking around and finding this little nugget and this little nugget and then adding this little piece of information and that little piece of information and discarding some of this because I don't know where they were coming from, but it definitely wasn't manifesting anything in my life, or it didn't work for me, that's for sure. And throughout the years, and over the last couple of years, it's been pretty good. And as I said in my 21-day manifestation challenge on Patreon, you know, I wasn't doing anything big yet, but I was doing all of the little things, and the little things were working. Oh my gosh, it didn't matter what I was, if it was little, it showed up. It was just incredible how things started happening in your life. But so I manifested. And I mean, when I manifested the laptop, that was a pretty cool thing. And I thought, well, we're getting somewhere here. But when I manifested what's sitting in my driveway now, which is a 2022 fully loaded 150 F-150 truck. Oh my gosh, it's humongous. It's like driving a giant house around. I have to go out and practice like parking it. I went like to a parking lot, a mall parking lot, went to the back and okay, pull up. Okay, well, do I think I have this right? And then I turn on the camera and look around to see where all the lines were, how good I got it. And I got to learn how to back up better because there's no way of turning this beast around in my driveway. I did like a 28-point turn or something in order to manage that. So I figured, well, I got to learn how to back up now, and really good at backing up. So yeah, it'll take time. It'll take practice. I mean, I used to drive truck way back when in my 20s. I used to drive a truck and then had my DZ license and whatnot. So it's just a matter of getting used to it. I've driven big vehicles before and never had an accident. So there's no need to think that I would now, but I am practicing with it, and it's just gorgeous. It's just absolutely phenomenally gorgeous. And I was way up here in the clouds and I could not come down enough in the energy that I was feeling. Oh, and then they threw in a 32-inch TV, by the way. Okay, so and did I have to pay for it? Yes, I had to pay for it. Did I have to pay what everybody else pays? Absolutely not. I mean, I had a car payment, and it's $150 less than my car payment. And I was driving in 2019. I do believe that you have to have that newer vehicle, especially if you were a single woman, and you can't work on these cars anyways today, the way they build them. So that I had roadside assistance and full coverage and things like that, because I do like to travel. I do like to travel in my vehicle. I want to be safe at all times. I want to be able to have, and to make sure that like the oil changes have always been done, and anyways, so it's just my personal preference. I've always gone and gotten a new vehicle, but and I told them, I said I walked in for four times and said I want an F-150, and I walked out with an Escape, which were beautiful vehicles, by the way. I was not unhappy about it. It was just so far out of my price. Now I'm retired. I don't even have an income coming in because I retired a little bit before all that pension stuff actually kicks in. So just amazing how it all came together, and my payments are actually cheaper. My insurance didn't go up. It's just, they threw in a TV. It's just gorgeous. It's actually that color. They laughed when they saw that I did my nails the color of my new truck. So yes, believe that you can manifest. I hope you took my course, because I took out a lot of the things that I tried and ran into walls and felt defeated and landed face first. And it is something that you have to consistently do in your life. It's not something after 21 days you don't have to do anything. Everything shows up. It's you get stronger and stronger and stronger by going through that process over and over and over again. And essentially, and I haven't been going through the process all that long when I really look at the steps that I'm asking everybody to do in order to manifest. And I'm sure I haven't heard too much from everybody, but I'm sure they're manifesting and they're sticking to it. And of course, now we have the procrastination series, a 6-week series, and I am a day late actually for even getting the first video for week 4 out. So there's 3 parts to each week, and it's a 6-week series. And I'm not procrastinating. I was just, my head was so far up in the clouds and the stars and this, just rejoicing and happy and smiling and singing and, wanting to drive a little bit more and let's go over here and let's practice here. And I just couldn't get enough of it. I was like a kid on Christmas Day with my new toy. And, so I do apologize that I kind of, I was here. So I did the monthlies, and then I did the monthlies, but I didn't have enough time to start uploading them. So then my son was he's a ref in wrestling, and it was the big event of the year. So mom had to be there. So I quickly got dressed and drove my truck. Actually, I drove it to a friend's and asked her to drive because I was scared to park it because I knew it'd be really busy at the arena and stuff. And I said, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to just pull off a solo parking just like I can do it. So please drive me. So I drove to her house. She was nice enough to drive me to the wrestling match, but then I didn't get home till like 1 o'clock in the morning. And that's when I started uploading the videos and everything. So all 12 videos are up. I got them up. If I started at 1 in the morning, so they came up throughout the night so that when you woke up, the videos would be there for you. Of course, I didn't put anything out there because I was just, I was so tired. And then I slept I really slept in this morning. It was like those olden days when I used to be hungover, when I used to, that doesn't happen to me anymore, but very rarely, but and feeling that sluggishness, and I just wanted to just relax and breathe, and it was just a 48-hour whirlwind that I was in. So I guess I was feeling a little knocked around and stuff, a little bruised. So I rested, and here I am, ready to get caught up with you guys. I'm sorry, I'll stop talking about me now, but you can manifest anything you want. It does take practice. It does take time. It does take energy. It costs you nothing to do. So if you're just sitting there on the couch, you're sitting at the kitchen table, or just drinking a coffee, why not do a little bit of something towards manifesting the dreams, the goals, your best life ever to come in. And I have no doubts that my best life ever will arrive one piece at a time in its own divine energy. I know that it's happening just far too much now for me to think it's a coincidence anymore, or to rule it out in some kind of analytical way, which I usually try and do. So anyways, let's get to the cards, shall we? Okay, let's just cut the cards here fast. Oh my gosh, I got on a little talking spree, but I'm very excited for me. So, okay, look at this. We have the Knight of Cups. This is about love. This is about taking time out, maybe loving yourself, getting together with a partner. This could be a brand new relationship starting. And just take it slow and enjoy the moment, I would have to say, if it's any new relationship right now. And this is about taking some time for yourself. I call him the knight in shining armor. I see him showing up on a stallion, whisking me away. There's a beautiful stream there, a bubbling brook, and we're out there, and there's a beautiful apple tree, and he throws down this blanket, he opens up this picnic basket, and we just enjoy the afternoon of just being in the moment. And that's really, find some way that you can just spend even 20 minutes, have a bubble bath, 20 minutes to just be in the moment and enjoy yourself, enjoy the moment. Turn off all the electronics so that you're not bothered at all, and you own that 20 minutes for just you and you alone. It's so important to do that each and every day for yourself. Okay, but this card is saying it. This card, though, I would think, get together with, your spouse, your lover, a best friend, maybe a coworker that you'd like to grow the relationship a little bit deeper with, and just have a nice 20 minutes, half hour, afternoon, morning together, and just enjoy each other's companies and do something very, make your hearts connecting as the most important part of the the time, though. Absolutely. Okay, we have, look at this, the Five of Cups. Now the Five of Cups came up in a couple of the readings. Okay, and this is where we are looking towards what didn't go right. Okay, first of all, you can't do anything wrong. You can't make a wrong decision. You can't make a wrong action. If you said those words and you just kind of cringed, well, you were supposed to say them for whatever reason. Okay, it may not even have to do with you. The other person may really needed to hear those words and you got to say them, unfortunately for you, right? So it all happens for a very good reason. It's to teach us something. It's to get us to know ourselves better. So when you say you failed at something, you did not fail at anything. You learned a way that it couldn't be done properly. So that's all. You never failed. You found out a way that it couldn't be done properly. The way you theorized it would turn out. So what was wrong with the theory? What needed to change? And probably through walking through that experience, you learned a lot of things that you could have done differently. That's why we can look back in time when we say, why didn't I do this? What possessed me not to do that? Because at that time, that was not the best option. You did not see it as the best option. Now, maybe you didn't take time to think it through. Now you know to think it through. Maybe you jumped at the moment. Now you know not to jump at the moment. But we never, ever, ever take a step to make our lives worse. We constantly make those steps to make our lives better, to show that we are responsible, capable individuals. Absolutely. So at the time, that was all the knowledge we had. We had to make that choice. That was the best one on the table. And it taught us so much about the next time we would come across having to make this choice again. So stop looking at what was a failure. You don't want to try this because it was a failure last time. You don't want to do this because you weren't good at it the first time. Every muscle needs to be worked, okay? So that's why we all start from the ground up. And we learn the basics. And they say every time life starts to get a little hard in a certain area of your life, take it right back to the basics. What's the most important things? What's the beginning steps? So this card is definitely one that tells us to stop hugging ourselves, feeling cold, alone, throwing off that blanket, feeling the warmth of the sun, turning around and seeing those two cups standing upright that are just waiting to be filled with our dreams, with our thoughts of tomorrow, of what we want to create, of what we want to invent, of what we want to give birth to. We have the Strength card. So this is about embracing our strength, our courage. This is about embracing it, not pushing it down. The fear pops up and we go, oh gosh, I can't handle that. And we push away courage and strength instantly. Like, oh, I just can't do that. No. Of course you can do it. So embrace your courage, embrace your strength, take a risk on you, believe in you. You've got this. You wouldn't be called to do it otherwise. And definitely, and this was said in many of my videos for the November focus, is integrity has to be intact. Your word is your bond. The handshake should be more than enough. And people should be able to rely on your word and your handshake. That nod of, yes, I will do it. So keeping your integrity. Also, we don't want to grow the story in a way that it just adds more to it and everyone's going to listen more. It made the story much better, you say. But it was a little white lie. You don't want those little white lies to be threaded in anything that you're doing right now. And then we have the King of Swords. King of Swords, he is determined. Okay? If anything, we get a little too determined here. And sometimes we don't realize that we may have hurt other people or ruffled feathers or stepped on toes or actually burnt a bridge in the process, only maybe when we look backwards. But we are intent on our focus on our dreams, our goals, our desires, what we want to manifest, what we want to grow in our lives, what we want to bring into our lives. And we are looking intently and we are ready to use that sword. So if you have to use that sword to cut down the bushes in order to make that new pathway, you will do it. Because you have your eye on the prize here. We'll get a mantra card. Intuition, trust your intuition. Absolutely. Believe in yourself. Trust in yourself. Especially if you're getting nudged to go in a direction that maybe you've tried before in some form, some manner, and it just hasn't worked for you. Like I say, I went to the dealership 4 times in a row, said I want an F50. I never drove away with an F50. I did. I did on Saturday. It was so much fun. Oh my gosh. To step into your dream, I tell you, it's amazing. You got to try it. Intuition, trust your intuition. Let's get the book out and see what the book says. I'm sorry, I still have my head in the clouds. I mean, it was quite, for me, it was huge. It was huge what I manifested. Do I still have a car payment? I do. Is it cheaper than my last one? It is. Figured that one out. But there was a whole bunch of different little things that happened. There was there was just, I can't even go into it all. All the little things that, and then it was just like dominoes. Went right down to, now you can have your F-150. Your intuition is an inherent gift to you. It is your divine intelligence guiding you in all ways. It is your thoughts, your words, your dreams and deeds. Everyone has intuitive abilities that need to be put into practice when facing challenges. You may experience this as a gut feeling, a hunch, and they are very accurate indicators of the right choices for you. Practicing and exercising your intuitive abilities can strengthen these gifts, which can give you the advantage when making decisions. Developing your intuitive abilities is probably one of the most valuable things you will ever do for yourself. Intuition is a very accurate guiding force in all aspects of life and can contribute to your success and fulfillment. I trust my intuition to guide me in all areas of my life. I trust my intuition to guide me in all areas of my life. I truly do. Now, do I mix in my sage wisdom? Absolutely I do. I ask for those things to be cemented together almost every day, so that I'm not only just being logical or emotional, but I'm joining forces to make the right decisions going forward. And all you need to do is say that. But your intuition, if you don't rely on your intuition, or it's like any other muscle in your body, if you haven't used it for a while, it gets a little flabby. So start being a little bit more intuitive. As you're driving down the road, guess what the color of the light's going to be. Okay? The next 2 lights will be green and then it'll be red, and see if you're right. Or the next one's green, the next one's red, the next one's green, the next one's whatever you want to do. Or the next person coming around that corner will have on white or green or yellow or blue, or start looking at things and make them little guessing games. The guy in front of me is going to order a coffee. He's going to order a tea. I do that all the time, and I tell you, I was on the way to get my truck, and there was a white van over here. Now, he was just going down the lane, and I was going down the lane, and I thought, he's going to try and cut me off and cut into this lane. But then as I got into the lane and I was going, he was still in that lane, and I thought, oh, I'm rarely wrong. I was kind of like, oh. And at the very last minute, he shot it, and I was like, and so even though he cut me off, my reaction was relief that my intuition was right again. Like, don't fail me now. I need you. So But he did at the very last minute, and I laughed. And I even said to myself, I thought for sure he was going to come in here and cut me off for some reason. And there he goes. He just cut me off. Okay. Okay, our animal, the frog, prosperity. Maybe I've just been talking about abundance too much, so prosperity shows up for us. Let go of the past, embrace change. Opportunities are close at hand. Hop into this new day with joy. Abundance and good fortune await you. Abundance and good fortune does await you. I can truly say that with a total honesty here, that I truly believe it, because I've seen it happen in my life and others' lives enough times to know that abundance and good fortune do await you. So hop into this new day with joy. Opportunities are close at hand. Let go of the past and embrace change. And that was at the very beginning with the 9 energy, right? Removing the past to create the change in our lives, to bring in the change, to make room for the change. And until we meet again, remember, I do love you.